And when you resonate in eternal constructs, then you just begin to shatter all the definitions of how people interrelate culturally with each other, and suddenly, in face of this light, they feel they don't exist. And so when Moses is imparting his knowledge, they say, Moses, could you please, I can't look at your face. It's too strong for me. Your resonance is too strong. Maybe you can give it over to your immediate students and they can impart it to us. For when we stand before your resonance, we feel as if we no longer exist. We feel as if we melt, so to speak, back into the oneness of eternity, and I lose complete differentiation of my individuality. And so Moses' splendor requires Aaron's recognition. For Aaron to recognize the definitions of an individual's particular accent in song and light of truth. Firm up the definition of this individual as being central, and then impart the light of eternity, for it will both dance in eternity in that resonance while still maintain its individual luster and being. And so the light worker must strive to resonate both the energy of 4 and the energy of 5 together in teaching light that is eternal. For it to resonate, for splendor alone will break, the mystics speak, will break the receptacle. It's like pouring hot water into a glass cup, it will shatter. You need the energy of recognition that cools the cup appropriately, puts in enough cold water so that when you pull the hot water into the cup, it won't shatter. It will have a time to adjust. It won't lose itself and won't break their construct and their essence. But simply recognizing without imparting eternal resonance, that's just folly. That's just vanity and celebrating the cult of personality. To recognize the magnetism of each thing just as a thing in itself. It's a void. It's dead and dying. There's no eternal supply. There's no eternal rush that's transmitting through it and spreading further the light of eternity. So you do need the energies of the 4 and the 5 to create the 9 energy of eternal growth. And so the energy of the 4 and the 5 together is a twin flame energy, as is the energy of the 3 and the 6, which is represented by Joseph and Jacob. Joseph was the beloved son of Jacob. Joseph was given the Technicolor coats, and the Technicolor coat is a archetype for the special mysticism, special knowledge that Jacob only taught to his son Joseph. That special knowledge that he learned, that he studied and gleaned, not in the house of his father Isaac, or learned from his grandfather Abraham in the Archetype, but went to study at a different academy of the children of Noah in order to prepare to go into exile. It is an energy of knowledge that one gleans and learns of how to sustain oneself in the darkness and turn darkness into the light. For the school of Abraham in the Archetype was a school of knowledge of how to stand in the glory of the light, follow in the path of the light, but not to sustain yourself within a hostile environment. And Joseph was destined to go into exile, so he received a different tier of knowledge of converting darkness into light, that when Joseph is surrounded by darkness, that's when he shines the most. And so the energies of Jacob and Joseph are aligned. Jacob is 3, Joseph is 6. Jacob is mercy and truth. Joseph is foundation if you look at the triad, or like a triangle, you have Abraham, which is a resonance of loving kindness, balanced by the energies of Isaac, which is strength and restraint. The strength of restraint. Loving kindness is active, masculine. Strength of strength is restraint, is passive. It's doing by not doing. And it is a feminine, spiritually feminine energy. And they produce the child, Jacob. The balance between them is truth. And that's the first triad. And Joseph represents the pinnacle of the second triad, which is between the energies of Moses and Aaron, the energies of splendor and recognition, is the pinnacle of foundation. And so Jacob's energy within the first triad is reflected in Joseph's energy within the second triad. It's just changing the keys, the chords, moving it down several resonances, but there's symmetry in it. So Joseph plays the role of Jacob's energy within a darker construct. It's like those who are musicians will understand that it's actually the same pattern, the same chords, just darker keys. And then when you take these two triads and you cross them into a tetrahedron, and then the new territory that is uncovered between them is the energy of the archetype called David, which is majesty, which is what we call the crown consciousness or Christ consciousness, or freedom. The interesting thing is to note is that twin flame energies reside in David is a 7, majesty and restraint, the energy of actualization, the restraint of full revelation or actualized, that enabled, because there was restraint of full illumination, it allowed an individual to truly actualize in their actions. For if there was full illumination, they wouldn't have been able to actualize because it would have been so clear to them. So the restraint that occurred allowed them to walk in darkness and actualize their true essence. So that restraint helped bloom an actualization. That actualization energy that comes through restraint paired with freedom is also a 9. 2 and 7. It's also a twin flame energy. And so what we begin to understand about the twin flame energies is that these are very, very, very powerful and dramatic and certainly central energies, and each one is complemented with the other to be a gestalt of something so far, far much more for this dimension and imparting eternal resonances. But these are not energies that one should ever confuse with romantic aspirations or obsessions or yearnings. These are energies that are certainly profound in love, but in a cadence of love and wholeness and fulfillment for all.